Thumper is a rhythm game with a simple premise. You press the A button when your beetle hits a light on the floor, and slide along walls when they show up. Everything is synced to the beat of the music, and the game makes time fly by pretty damn quick. Flow is an altered state of consciousness, first coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in the 1970s. Flow is marked by deep concentration, effortless involvement, feeling in control, a loss of sense of self, and time. Flow may be caused by activities with challenging tasks that are completable and that provide immediate feedback. Case in point, video games. Noyens et al. Suggests video gamers frequently enter flow states where high attention, especially emotional, is invested into the game and less into time perception. When this is combined with a feeling of presence within the game world, this leads to time flying. However, these aspects of flow in video games have rarely been quantified. So, the paper I'm presenting by Rutrecht et al. Used the game Thumper in 2D and virtual reality (VR) settings to attempt to quantify flow by addressing several research questions. Firstly, does playing Thumper in 2D or VR induce flow? Secondly, does 2D or VR induce more flow than the other condition? And finally, how much does flow influence time perception? Thumper was the game of choice because it is easy to learn, but hard to master. It appeals to a variety of gaming skill levels and provides challenge to the player without them needing to seek it. Rutrecht's team recruited 100 total volunteers, equal male and female, and mostly uni students between the ages of 18 to 35, to either play in a 2D or VR condition. 69% of these participants frequently play video games, while 31% do not, and 90% of them have never used VR before. No participants had played Thumper before either. The 2D group played the game on a 27-inch flat-screen monitor at a screen resolution of 1080p, whereas the VR group played with an Oculus Rift S headset at 720p. Both groups used Sennheiser CX300S in-ear headphones for audio and an Xbox One game controller. Both groups played for 25 minutes to account for what's called the adaptation period, where players overestimate the length of shorter play sessions. And the researchers recorded how far participants got through the game and the total score they earned as markers of their game performance. Additionally, the researchers asked the participants to fill out several surveys with rating scales before and after gaming. These surveys measured how often participants experienced flow, how present they felt within the game world, how strongly they felt positive or negative emotions while playing the game, and how motion sick they felt, although no participants reported considerable amounts. But importantly, the study design was retrospective, to simulate a natural situation, so the participants were not aware they would be asked about how much time they thought had passed until after playing. This quantitative data was analysed using t-tests, ANOVAs, and Pearson's correlations. Rutrecht's team expected that VR participants would feel more present and hence experience more flow compared to the 2D group, because the VR headset provides a 3D stereoscopic view of the game world. Their findings somewhat support this, because flow was induced in both 2D and VR conditions, but there were no significant differences between them, which is contrary to their hypothesis. Furthermore, compared to 2D, the VR group found the game easier and their game performance was better. Mostly in the VR group, flow positively correlated with both measures of game performance and feeling positive emotions after playing the game. Furthermore, the VR group felt more present in the game world than 2D, but flow positively correlated with presence only in the VR condition. So overall, there was higher presence, but whether more flow is experienced in VR is uncertain. Additionally, following the literature, the researchers expected flow would have led participants to underestimate how long they had been playing for. Although there were no significant differences in time perception between groups, both groups felt a fast passage of time and did not pay much attention to time while playing, which positively and negatively correlated with flow, respectively. Despite this, participants on average estimated 24 minutes had passed, with no significant differences between groups. This unprecedented accuracy surprised the researchers, as duration estimates and passage of time estimates were not correlated when they were expected to be. This could have been due to the time perception questionnaires wording. Participants were asked to estimate how long they'd been playing, quote, intuitively without thinking about it. This phrasing could have caused participants to compensate for their poor time perception by realizing that time flies while having fun. Overall, Rutrecht et al. Quantified and compared how flow was elicited in both 2D and VR conditions using several surveys. Presence and game performance were stronger in VR, and VR apparently does not induce flow more readily, but it's uncertain. They evaluated that Thumper induces flow and is therefore suitable for future flow and time perception studies. However, the Swedish Flow Proneness Questionnaire, SFPQ, results did not correlate with the Flow Short Scale, FSS, results, indicating the SFPQ may not be suitable for future studies about flow and time perception in video games. Finally, the authors stated future studies investigating whether flow-inducing video games, like Thumper, could reduce rumination in depressed individuals may be worthwhile. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to go back to playing Thumper.